And Councillor Chow.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. So I just want to put that forward, that there has been no stifling of political speech.
Councillor Chow, respectfully, if I do not have $1,200 in order to set my table up in public space, I am indeed restricted in terms of my political speech.
That, I agree to a certain extent, yes, we could discuss about that, but to tie to the gravity of an issue to a size of a structure seems to me is not what political speech is all about. That's my interpretation. Sure, yeah, you're right. Even in the residential area, people are still free to demonstrate. It's just that you cannot go there with a structure. And I don't know why the structure is such a thing. I'm an engineer. It seems to me that you actually...
Chow, I'm sorry. I'm a little lenient with you because you rarely speak or misuse your speaking time, but there needs to be a question somewhere in your statements.
Oh, okay. My question is that do you think this bylaw stifle political speech? And the second question is, does the gravity of the issue has anything to do with a structure, that you cannot have political speech if you don't have a structure? Those are my two questions. Thank you.
Quickly then, yes, we do think this bylaw unduly restricts political speech, and so we are concerned about that. And the 6 points that I've quickly outlined for you are the nature of our objections.
So how about the second question? The gravity of the issue has to tie in with the structure?
I'm trying to think of how I can state this briefly. The structure here includes objects, substances, or things. This is a huge category. And as I say, if I decide that I need a giant panda bear in order to talk about species that are apt to be extinct soon, then if you say I need $1,200 in order to do that, that is a restriction on my speech de facto. So it's not even arguable.
So you're saying then we need to tighten up that language?
I'm saying that it is very overbroad and unduly restricted. That's what we're saying.
Thanks, Councillor Chow. Councillor Woodsworth.
Just to clarify what you were speaking, so you would conclude restriction of political speech to include cost of the location, time, size, all of these things you would consider restrictions on freedom of speech?
Absolutely.
And you believe the courts would also consider these to be restrictions on speech?
They have and they do, yes.
That's very helpful, and I concur with you. I love the idea, the library book idea, actually. In terms of the implications, and I think the panda bear was apt, you just forgot to mention the dimensions, that may not work either. In terms of the reputation of the city and the accomplishments that have come from what were probably considered illegal structures and illegal occupations, whether it was Woodward's or some of the peace demonstration or the Red Tent campaign or a number of the things that probably propelled a number of us to actually run for political office. What do you think this does to our reputation as a city that believes in freedom of speech, doesn't want to be a nose-front city, believes in the freedom of artistic expression, etc., if this bylaw passes?
Well, certainly, the cost factor alone will see people who demonstrate on the issues of homelessness and poverty looking for pro bono counsel, I'm sure. It's simply a matter of those kinds of restrictions are so wildly undue that they require tailoring at this end, if indeed the city is going to maintain the reputation for its diversity and entertainment of people's just expression.
Thank you very much. And I wonder if you could email us your points.
Yes, except that the time was so short, we would have prepared a written submission, of course.
We will be continuing this, I can tell, on the morning of April the 19th, so it would be helpful to get them before then.
Yeah, I could speak just very quickly to that. You know, the idea of a regulatory gap here should perhaps, i.e. the deadline on April 19th, you might want to reconsider the idea that there will unlikely be a floodgate of structures that are going up in public space that are unregulated in the gap in the regulatory regime that are going to be highly problematic if you were to take more time. I do not believe that the sky would fall.
That's why I made my comments that we should hear all the speakers on this.
Oh dear! A piece of blue sky just fell on my head. The wherefore and why is best left unsaid. But I have a hunch, and it's appalling that, like it or not, the sky is falling. Henny decided to take action. I should go and warn the king. And off she went. On her way, Henny came upon Goosey Lucy, one of the most popular birds in the barnyard. The most popular. And the 8th graders are seeing a play today about how to be that popular safely. Well, Henny Penny, I do declare, honey, where are you rushing off to? The sky is falling. I'm off to warn the king. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. I don't need something to hit me in the head in order to get the message.